You're listening to Up the Turnpike with hosts Mitch Anderson and Matt O'Leary.
Hello and welcome to the Up the Turnpike postgame show. What's going on? Matt O'Leary with Mitch Anderson. Mitch, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing about as good as Sorokin is doing right now. Pretty damn well. How about you?
I am doing well, especially after that Ilya Sorokin performance. Unfortunately, I'm going to have to bounce out in like 5 minutes probably because I got to get Taylor from the train. But it's not very far, so I might be able to make it back and play with you at the end a little bit. But just wanted to come on at the top at least and just throw some love to Ilya Sorokin because we were hard on him the last game and, you know, in a way, deservedly so. He didn't play very well, but Patrick Waugh asked him to be more aggressive, and it looked like that was the case tonight.
Yeah, man, absolutely. Specifically in that first period, man, just got shellacked. What is it? Shots for? It only says 15. I was told they had 16 shots, but according to Natural Stat Trick, they had 15 shots in that first period. Did the Boston Bruins to the Islanders 6? Most, maybe not most, but a lot of it on that power play, right? Like just shelled. Yeah, 7 shots on the power play for Boston. Insane, ridiculous stuff there. They had 2, of course, but still.
Naturally, yes. Lots of shots going their way and some big saves too on that first power play. He had like 3 or 4 in tight right in a row that he had like one that he kicked way out. I was like, this looks like a confident Ilya Sorokin tonight. Look at this.
Yeah, and dramatically different from last night or not last night, but 2 nights ago in his last outing, right? He just didn't have his net, right? That third goal that went in, didn't even see it, didn't know the pass was made. Ridiculous stuff. This, very little got by him. The only goal that got by him was an OG, really, that we'll get to in a bit, or we'll get to once we get to it. Although I see some comments already about it.
Tony Dave, baby, taking over for Brandon Tank God Davidson. They needed somebody to fill that role. That was kind of the last time they ended up kind of mailing it in the second half. Not that they were trying to tank, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, no, it's just who knows what they're trying to do, but whatever. All we can really do is that Sorokin was fan-friggin-tastic today. Like, stood on his head, as Michelle says there. Perfect.
Yeah, he absolutely did. So let's get into it, Mitch. We'll talk about the Islanders did get a goal after what was, I thought, a surprise. This is hopefully the right tab. Yes, it is. Thank God.
Look at all those tabs. Oh, my God.
Don't look at it. First goal of the game. Alex Romanov was in the box. He comes out of the box and scores a goal. Things you just absolutely love to see here. You'll see him pop on the screen somewhere over here in about a second.
Just right. But there you go. And like Pajot even talked about that in the intermission going, I just took a look over and I saw him and I said, he's got the hot hand. So I've got to give it to him. Just Romy's been feeling it for a while now. Obviously not like a scoring god, only has 4 goals on the year, but one hell of a shot that just went right through Jeremy Swayman like he was Swiss cheese.
Yeah. And that's 2 in, back-to-back games. He has goals in back-to-back games now.
Yeah. So just excellent stuff from number 28. Takes a penalty, not what you want to see. And yeah, again, Boston had 7 shots on their power plays in that first period. So the penalty kill did its job technically, but it wasn't doing it particularly well, right? You don't want to see that many shots going your way.
No, Butch Goring said it on the broadcast, but he was so right. It was their best penalty killer was Ilya Sorokin in the first period, and the best player on the ice in general in the first period. Islanders very lucky to be up 1-0 after being outshot 15-6. And that number was like 16 or 17. They must have took a couple shots away, but it was all Bruins in the first.
Yeah, it was one-way traffic. It was all Bruins all the time. The Islanders only had those, 8 shots, was it? 6 shots in that first period in all situations. Just, you don't want to repeat of that. Boston had 2.54 expected goals in that first period. You do not want to see the same thing in the second. And while the expected goals didn't get that high for Boston, it was still an uncomfortable high of 1.49. But still, the Islanders did the goddamn thing and scored the only goal of the period.
So Islanders lead 1-0 after one period of play. This will be the last one for me, and then maybe I'll make it back for the end of the show here.
Okay.
But Kyle Palmieri scores to make it 2-0. Kind of just goes to the front of the net, and good things happen.
Yeah, man. Like Pierre, that's what we keep saying it, but like you got to go to the front of the net. Don't skate through the net, specifically if you're the second man back, right? You're the man down the middle. You skate to the front of the net and you try to gobble up those rebounds or take eyes away from the goalie. And this is exactly what he did. Brock shoots to maybe get it through, at worst get a rebound, and that's what happens. There you go, Bob's your uncle. We're up 2-1. 2 goals on the rush. That's what I like to see. Goals on the rush.
Yeah. And I don't know about you, but I was feeling pretty good at that spot. I know there's a lot of game left. Obviously, there's only 4:21 for the second period. But it felt like one of those nights where Sorokin was locked in. And if you got 2 goals, you'd be in a pretty good spot. And that's pretty much exactly what ended up happening here.
Yeah, exactly. So it feels good. It felt good for sure at that point. But like, as Bill says, Kyle Palmieri scored just for Spiz.
Yeah, the Discord was popping off as soon as Kyle Palmieri scored. He's been hot though, scoring goals recently. Up to 18 now, which again, get that trade value up. I don't know if they'll actually do that a week from tomorrow. We'll be live for the trade deadline next Friday. Hopefully we have some trades to react to, but we'll see.
Yeah, we will see. But yeah, trade value going up. Do you have to go out now?
Yeah, I'm gonna duck out. Again, it depends on how long you're on, but I might be back. If not, it's been a blast, Mitch. I know you're gonna hold it down the rest of the way.
All right. Well, we'll see. We'll see if Matt comes back to us after dipping to go perform his husbandly duties, if you will. I'm gonna pitch the game on the screen. Share the game on the screen. My God, there we go. Share that. There we go. Okay, so Kyle Palmieri scores 4 minutes and 21 seconds into the second period, giving us that 2-0 lead. I wasn't confident that we can pull out a win here, right? Like, I don't know if I'm the only one, but I was not confident. It was great to be up by that, but the Bruins were still out shooting us. I still had the first period in my mind. And in the second period, it was still like they still end the period ahead of us in shots, and shot attempts were still quite high. Look at that. Shot attempts for the Boston Bruins in the first period, 31. Again, 31 for them in the second period. We had one more shot than we did, or shot attempt, that is, in that second. It was still all Boston. But Ilya Sorokin, man, kept shutting down the door. I see the comments here about Sorokin. Like Michelle back there, it says he deserves all stars according to Butch Goring. Kaloy says great bounce back performance from Sorokin. Absolutely, he deserved all of it. He only plays well when it's a crazy game. Does him playing well make it a crazy game, or is the game crazy and he stands up to it? It's very much a chicken or the egg situation. I'm asking you, Levi. Yeah, but he was clearly the man tonight. In that second period, though, controversy strikes again with the Zebras as Brock Nelson takes an interference call against Mathieu Poitras, or Poitras. I don't know if he's French. I just assumed just by reading the name. I don't know about you on stream, but I definitely didn't think that was a penalty. It was unfortunate, absolutely, but it didn't look like a penalty to me. Also, they didn't call a penalty on the ice, even when they said they were reviewing it. They're just reviewing the play for a penalty, for a major penalty. On what? What are you calling a major penalty on? And they just didn't call it. They spent a long time looking at it. The longer they were spending looking at it, the more concerned I became that we would go on the penalty kill. The more concerned I was, because they're looking for something. They're trying to find a reason, I suppose, even though, again, they didn't call a penalty on the play. I don't understand what they were doing there. If you haven't seen the play, I'm going to try to bring it up here. On the stream, there it is. I can get this one here if I just switch to this tab. So this is the end of the play. Obviously, it goes into the boards. So look, that there. I don't know if that's interference. That doesn't. Whoa, that's my face. Holy bajolies. There we go. I don't know if that's interference. I understand that Brock has his hands out and it makes it kind of look like a cross check, but he doesn't actually check. It's more of a shepherding away, which isn't interference in any version of the NHL, either today's or previous ones. So I really don't know why the refs gave him a penalty. They did. Thankfully, the Islanders kill it off, and they grew into that second period. I thought, I believe that they generated some momentum from the controversy there, and just kind of ran with it. Tim is saying Lou must have pissed someone off at league office to warrant these weak calls from the men in stripes, because yeah, that's twice now, right? Like the game misconduct, if you will, or the match penalty for Casey Zizekas, and now this, although just a minor penalty, but still, Gary Skarek should have got the penalty. The refs want to ensure that the Isles don't make the playoffs, even though they don't have to. The refs never taking an off day, Bill. Never taking an off day when it comes to the New York Islanders and making the playoffs. But we go into the third, and we're up 2-0. But Boston typically, just historically, do well in the third period. They're just a really good third period team. I'm never confident in a lead against Boston unless it's like 4 or 5 goals. I'm never confident. So the fact that we're only up 2-0 going into the third period, I was not confident that we would come out with a win. Didn't think we would definitely lose, just wasn't confident. And then Tony DeAngelo does his best Brandon Davidson impression, as Matt said earlier. Like, let me switch this over here so you can see it a little bit bigger. You see the break, you see the interplay, and Siplikov loses a board battle. David Pastrnak throws it to the front of the net, and then Tony throws it in his own, bounces off his stick into his own net. That's twice now. That's you got some correcting to do with your play on these specific plays, Tony DeAngelo, because that was not okay. Twice now. Once, all right, fine, right? Once, shame on me. Twice, shame on you. And that's what it's at right now for Tony DeAngelo. You can't keep having these. I understand we don't really think that we're going to go anywhere in terms of make the playoffs type of thing. But if there's any chance, it's not going to happen if we keep scoring on our own goddamn net. Obviously, we just can't have that happen. And like Kaloy says, there's 3 goals in the last 2 games off of our defensemen. Is it 3 or 4? Maybe last 2 games. Sorry, you only said the 2 games. Tony DeAngelo's was a few games before that. Sorry, you're right. It is 3 because the 2 off Scott Paranovich and the 1 over Tony DeAngelo now, and 1 over Tony DeAngelo earlier, 4 or 5 games ago, if you will. But still, as Chloe is saying, that's just too many. We can't be scoring on our own goal here. We have enough problems. Scoring on ourselves cannot be another one. Cannot be another one. But Boston keeps pushing, man. They keep pushing in that third period. They don't really get anything to go because Sorokin just stands on his head. So often the puck he finds a way for the puck to hit him. This was vintage Sorokin performance tonight, and shuts the door in the final 10 minutes of the game to get us the 2 points over a team that we're technically chasing, right? The Boston Bruins are ahead of us in the standings. So getting 2 points on them or against them is big for us. So we move up to 59 points now. We are, gosh damn it, 7 points back still of Columbus with a game in hand. Just still way too much work to be done that I don't think it's going to be surmountable. I don't think we're ever going to get to the point where we can pass Columbus and some of these other teams. I just don't think so. It's just too much. But a win's a win. 2 points, 2 points. Matt isn't here to do the game, so I'm going to do it myself. I'm not going to take guesses because it's weird to play by myself type of thing. But if we look at the ice time for most ice time for a forward, look at that. Simon Holmstrom, 21:53. My gosh. That is, wow. Simon Holmstrom, most ice time for a forward. I would not have thought that. 21-53. If Matt were here to play the game, and maybe if he comes back, I will ask him. I didn't think Simon Holmstrom would never have come to mind. I'm glad it's up there. I'm glad that Patrick Roy is showing him confidence in that. At 24 shifts, that's wild. 3 fewer shifts than Bo Horvat, but still out there more frequently with more ice time. Good job, Simon Holmstrom there. Nothing really bad about his game. 2 giveaways, but whatever. I don't really care so much about that. Least amount of ice time for forwards is it Mark Gatcomb there? Yeah. Mark Gatcomb, 7 minutes, 37 seconds, only 11 shifts. Kyle McLean not too far behind. 1 extra shift, but 9 minutes and 12 seconds, almost 2 full minutes over Mark Gatcomb there. But no surprises there. These are guys playing at the bottom end of the roster. It is what it is. For defensemen, leader of ice time is Alex Romanov, who's been playing out of his goddamn mind lately. 24 minutes, 29 seconds for Romanov. Out friggin' standing. 2 shots, 4 blocks, 2 hits, 3 giveaways, though, 3 takeaways. Excellent stuff. And obviously that goal. Noah Dobson back in the lineup tonight. He looked fine. There was another comment in here. I don't know if I'm going to be able to find it because reading, talking, and just entertaining is hard for me to do. I can't do 3 things at once. But there was someone who put in a comment saying that, Sloppy's asking about thoughts on Dobby's return. I thought he played fine. Oh, there he goes. Gary who said it. Dobson also looked good. Yeah. But thoughts on his return? He looked fine. 18 minutes, 54 seconds is all I would ask for on a player making his surprise or earlier than expected return. I don't think there's any glaring mistakes, but when you look at the number of giveaways, 5 is way too friggin' high. That's way, way, way too many giveaways. So he's clearly got still a little bit of catching up to do in his game to be at peak Noah Dobson again. But that's to be expected, right? In his first game back after coming back from injury. So I'm not too concerned about that. Least amount of ice time for defenseman is Adam Boquist at 14:10. Again, fine. There's no issues here with defensemen. Even Tony DeAngelo, the only issue is he put it in his own net. But whatever. Just please fix that, please. If it happens a third time, then we really have a concern here, because then it's we can't have you out there if you're going to keep putting pucks in our own goddamn net. That's just not going to happen. And then we have Ilya Sorokin here, stopping 38 of 39 shots for a glowing 974 save percentage. Holy crap, did he need that after last game, right? Bill, but did Dobson learn defense while he was out? Probably not, Bill. Probably not. We shall see. But yeah, Ilya Sorokin definitely needed that performance after the last one. Clearly, a few notes from Patrick Roy on how to play goalie turns a guy from not knowing where his posts are to elite. So Jakob Skark's got to be like, I'm all ears, Patty. Please, I'm all ears, Patty. Please have Patrick Roy go speak to Tristan Lennox, Henrik Tikkanen, Hoiberg, Varley, all of them. One-on-ones, please. Let us be a goalie factory. That would be outstanding because we have Patrick Roy in as a coach. The Ilya hate lasted long. I see you said that 3 times there, Connor. It obviously did not, because it cannot. So to any of the Ilya haters out there, I know at least one. Tonight's a quiet night for them. Quiet night indeed. Bill's here for the last. Bill, go pester Will, please, about Ilya Sorokin's performance. I want to see that in the Discord when I get back. P.S. If you haven't signed up yet, or you don't know what I'm talking about when it comes to the Discord, we have a Patreon where we host our podcast. We do it twice a week. It's full hour-long podcasts where the patrons let us know what they want us to talk about. We have our certain segments, but then the second half of the show is all about the patrons. You tell us what you want to talk about, and we talk about it, damn it. Whether Islanders related or not, Spiz is famous for abusing that. So sign up today. It's patreon.com/uptheturnpike. Not only do you get those 2 podcasts, but you also get access to the Discord channel where Matt and I pop in all day, every day, as well as the 100+ other patrons now. So sign up today, patreon.com/uptheturnpike. If we're looking at the Game stats here. Islanders outshot 39-20. Woo! The Bruins had 60% Corsi in this game, 65% of the expected goals. So the underlying numbers do not look good for the New York Islanders, but we got to win. Teams got to find a way to win if you want to be good. So that's awesome. Face-offs, we barely win at 51.8%. Power play was awful, but the penalty kill rose to the occasion. So that's a win. Penalty minutes, 6 for us, 4 for them. Hits 20-33. That's kind of surprising, right? Again, the Boston Bruins not only basically doubled us in shots, but they had 60+% of the shot share. They had the puck on their stick almost 2/3 of the night, but still out hit us. That's not great. You would like to see the inverse there based off of the number of shots had by the Bruins. Block shots, clearly that's big for us, 25-18 for them. Giveaways though, ooh, that's like Max is saying, that giveaway number hurts. Gosh damn, there were bad ones too. There definitely were. There are 23 of them. I know there's something going on with the league right now, in the counting of the giveaways is a little bit higher this year than in previous seasons across all teams. So there's something there in terms of the giveaway numbers, but still 23 to their 14. And remember, they had the puck almost 2/3 of the time. That's not good. Takeaways, 6 to their 2. Man, rough night on the underlying numbers for the New York Islanders, but that's way too big. It's a big face there. Rough night for the underlying numbers for the New York Islanders, but good night in terms of the wins. So I will turn it over now to you guys, and I will look at your comments and see what you've been saying. There are a lot of comments. Jeremy, a win is what we want, right? I guess. I don't know, man. I don't know if I want too many wins. I understand that we're going to get wins. We have another 24 games, I think, after tonight. We're going to get some wins. If we're going to make the playoffs, then let's start stringing together some wins. I just, again, don't see that happening. If we go back to the standings here, it's just not looking feasible. 59 points. We've got to catch at least Columbus at 66. That's 7 points. Just not great. Look at that.
I told you I'd be back. It's not far.
Friggin' did it. What a beauty. Oh, that's not what I wanted. I wanted this one.
There we go.
We're just going through the comments. We just started it. So Jeremy's asking, a win is what we want, right? And I was like, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe. I don't know.
I don't think it changes anything. A win versus a loss. It doesn't, like, if they lost, it wouldn't have swayed me any further the other direction, you know?
Yeah. Fair.
I was listening in the car, by the way. Had you going through the speakers? Had no clue that Simon Holmstrom played that much.
David, that's true. You heard. Gosh, damn it. 21-53 Simon Holmstrom. What the hell?
I don't know where that came from, but okay. I'll take it. I thought he had some moments today. I obviously didn't have a goal or an assist, but I thought he was he was noticeable, but I wouldn't have guessed almost 22 minutes.
No. Well, he had fewer shifts than Bo Horvat, right? Like Bo had 27 shifts to his 23 or 24, I think it was. I assume Bo has more shifts because he's out there taking draws like on the PK or something, and then jumps back to the bench just because he's nearly 60%, just like Peugeot. But still, that's a lot of ice time by our man, fucking Simon Holmstrom. Emanon loves beating Boston. I think we all do, right?
Yeah, I love it. Now, in Lost in Translation, putting the shoes on, putting the sweatshirt on, going outside, I missed your take on the penalty at the end of the second period with the bench and Sorokin. Can we revisit that for half a second?
Yeah, absolutely. Go for it.
I was gonna say how do you call a penalty on that when one was not called originally? Like, I know they did the major to review it, right? But that felt like we got to call something.
Well, yeah, because that's what Brendan was saying as well. Like at that point, they're like, "Oh crap, we called a major, but we never called a penalty. So what are you calling a major on?" Right? They didn't call a penalty on the ice. So there's no, what are you calling this against? I assume when we look at the notes of the game, the ref notes, or when scouting the ref does the report, it's going to be said like, oh, we wanted to call interference on him. We just wanted to check and we just didn't actually say it, which is BS. Like that's some revisionist history right there.
Yeah, it does feel that way. And clearly you could see Skark is opening the bench door for Holmstrom, who is slowing up to exit right in front of that play.
Yeah. Like I get he's got his arms out, but he's shepherding, as I said. He didn't cross check. What is it? Poitras. So it is what it is. Thankfully we killed the penalty. So that's a win.
Yeah, they killed the penalty. PK ended up being pretty good today, thanks in part to Ilya Sorokin.
Yeah. What do you think about this from Orbican? Saw someone suggesting picking up Wallstrom now that he's on waivers again. What do you think of that?
Why? What's the point?
I think, as Ryan mentioned in the Discord, which I'm going to pimp again here, because the Islanders initially sent him out on waivers, the Islanders can send him right if they claim him and are successful. They can send him right to Bridgeport because they had already done half of that process. So if they claim again, he can go right down to Bridgeport. Obviously, I don't know if you want to do that. I don't know why you would want to do that necessarily for the Islanders. Maybe you get someone in Bridgeport who can do some stuff. He's pretty good at the AHL level.
I don't know. He's going to be playing Sweden next year. What's the point?
Fair enough. A note from Kaloy: Tony D has to stop scoring on his own goalie, please.
He's done it a couple times now.
Yeah, absolutely. Levi, interesting comment here. Can we talk about how they just give up the neutral zone without a fight whatsoever? What's up with that?
Yeah, I noticed that a lot in the third period. That's a good call out from Levi here.
Yeah, I haven't noticed it that well, so I'm gonna have to look out for that now, and just how easily they're giving up the neutral zone. Obviously, we noticed that they give it up, and you saw it today just based off of the shot counts. It's just how are they giving that up? Are they just not stacking a man down the middle, or are they just not making it hard to compete? I don't understand what they're doing here. So I'm gonna have to keep a closer eye on that going forward.
Yeah, good call out. I'm gonna try to do the same because it's noticeable. But like, what's the reason? Is it just that they're sloppy in the neutral zone? Like, what's going on with it? So. Good call.
Yeah. A lot of comments here about the trade. I think there's a lot of just like talking amongst each other, but I'm going to post this one here and kind of lump them all together in this one question, because it is a question and a good one. Does this mean that Lou keeps Palms and Nelson?
I hope not. Although the comments pregame from Lou Lamoriello on Brock Nelson, a little frightening.
Yeah. So if you haven't seen the comments, Lou basically says, I have no plans in trading Brock Nelson. He's an Islander.
The quote is, he's an Islander and he's certainly an integral part of our team.
I really hope he's playing 3D chess and this is just him trying to manipulate the market.
Yeah, please be the case.
Yeah. I just have to believe so. What do you think here about from Steve? Horvat has been shooting straight logo or 12 feet to the left of the goal. Dude can't buy a goal recently. I've also not noticed this specifically, but I've had my qualms with Bo Horvat lately. He just doesn't look the same.
Yeah, just one goal in his last 5 games, 2 points in the last 5 games. If you go back over, I wanted to do a bigger sample than just the 5. One in the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 games, which is obviously not great.
No, that's really not great at all. We need more from him. And when I'm saying like he's not, I had qualms, it's not even on the puck sometimes. It's off the puck stuff too. Like, just what are you doing, bud? Where are you going? Like, making these weird decisions to pinch when someone's already there, vacating the empty, like the slot. Like, what is happening, Bo? These are simple things. This doesn't look right.
No, he definitely doesn't. And I think he's missed his partner. Matt Barzal has missed 2 massive chunks of the season.
Yeah. This is upsetting from Gary, and it's not Gary who's upsetting me. He's replying, not replying, but he's giving us something that we heard on the broadcast earlier. But in case you haven't heard it, Palm is the only player with 2 or more goals, with more than 2 goals in February.
Yeah, that's not good enough. Now, they did have a 2-week break, but that's still not a pretty stat.
No, he's got 5, right? So great for his trade value, but not so great as an indication of how our offense is working right now.
No, certainly not.
No. Only sure thing on this team is Sorokin is the best draft pick Snow ever had from David. It's kind of hard to argue with that.
JT, or is that just too easy because it's a 1-1 pick?
Yeah. I think that's a layup, right? Because like, what are you going to do? And that's, I know some people said, I know Spiz is one of them. Like, he should have drafted Hedman.
That's a little history there, no?
Yeah, I get it. Hedman is a really good player, and could have gone one, but like for where the Islanders were, the only pick he ever would have made was Tavares. It would have been, I don't know, revolt on the island if he had taken Hedman that year.
Yeah. And I get it. I get the frustration. It really sucks how that ended. But for talking about getting, a really damn good goalie in the third round, yeah, that's a win.
That is a big win. Absolutely. I want a fire sale from Kaloy, but I don't know if there's enough warm bodies in Bridgeport to replace them.
Well, I think you're hoping to get young players with this trade too. Like if you're trading Brock Nelson. So not that they're going to be like, oh, you come in and play second line center and you'll be great immediately, but you're going to have some fresh faces, I would imagine, if you're making moves.
I would hope so, but Kaloy's right. There aren't really enough warm bodies to fill that spot. I know when we were doing our show on Wednesday, where we made up our plans for the trade deadline, I was struggling to, like, once I'm taking bodies out because I traded 3 players. So you're going to have to go and find out what I did. So sign up today if you're not already. Trying to fill those holes was really difficult, really, really hard to do. But I traded for like futures, really. Like I got guys like, Brad Lambert type of thing. Spoiler.
Oh, you spoiled it.
I'm not listening now, Mitch. Mercy saying, I would like to see Jordan Kyrou from St. Louis. Is Pettersson still in the mix?
I don't know. I feel like the talk with Pettersson is kind of quieted off.
Yeah.
Jordan Kyrou is a tremendous player that I would love to add on this team. I think he would do wonders on the top line.
Yeah. Yeah. I wouldn't mind that at all. I'd rather Pettersson than Jordan Kyrou. I think, like, as you're saying, Jordan Kyrou is just more easily attainable. Just Pettersson, $11.6 million. Just the contract alone is going to be hard to acquire. Yep,
it is. But I mean, this is another guy who's over the last few years, in Kyrou, that is 75 points, 27 goals, 73 points, 37 goals, 67 points, 31 goals, and 24 goals and 47 in 59 this year.
Yeah. So
good player.
He's a really good player. Okay. What else do we got here before we head out? Ben is saying Horvat is miserable without Barzal. It really does seem like it, doesn't it?
Yeah, his numbers have been way down this year to where they probably should be. Although the goal total is not as bad as what I thought at 19. I thought it would be lower than that, but only 41 points. You'd like that number to be a little higher than that.
Yeah. Yeah. He just seems off. I don't know if it's overcorrecting for guys out there or not. It's just off. For Sloppy, I don't want anything to do with EP40. He's either injured or has the worst case of the yips in history.
I think it's the former. Doesn't he have beef with how they handled his injury?
Yeah, he does. And I don't think he's over it yet. I not mentally over it. I don't think the injury is cured yet.
No, I would agree.
So I think giving him some rehab, maybe you get him back to at least a 90-point player minimum, which would be huge for us.
Yep.
And final one here, just for La Morale, just for the brand, hashtag Tavares is a fraud.
Wrong one. Nope, wrong one again.
Tavares is a fraud. There we go. Love it. That's it from us tonight, everyone.
Beautiful. Make sure to subscribe if you are new to the channel. I'm Matt. He's Mitch, and we will catch you next time.